Facts in 92.3 Nigeria Info. Sam Oracle Chinedu here. This Saturday, Nigeria joins the rest of the world to mark World Press Freedom Day, a day set aside by the United Nations to reflect on the fundamental principles of press freedom, to evaluate its state around the world, and to pay tribute to journalists who have lost their lives in the line of duty. The theme for 2025 is Reporting in the Brave New World, the impact of artificial intelligence on press freedom and the media. And as you can tell, it is a timely theme. Artificial intelligence is reshaping the world, every part of the world, including and especially journalism, at a rapid pace. Now, from content creation to audience targeting to deepfake detection to newsroom automation, everything is affected by AI. And while it holds great promise for innovation, it also presents new threats. And that is what the world has chosen to call fake news, misinformation, the loss of human jobs, biased algorithms, and challenges to editorial independence. So the idea is to have conversations around mitigating these challenges. I'm joined by an experienced journalist to unpack the opportunities and risks of this brave new world. He is Mr. Paul Damgbor, the chairman, NUJ Rivers State Committee on Press Freedom. You're welcome, Mr. Damgbor. How are you doing?
Thank you. And audience, I thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for making the time. So before I get into the conversation proper, is there any special thing happening tomorrow? Is there going to be jollof rice? Do we come somewhere? Do we gather? World Press Freedom Day, while celebrating?
Wow. Yeah, well, truly the World Press Freedom Day is a global event.
Okay.
And celebrated all over the world. In Rivers State, the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Rivers State Council, also have put together a 5-man committee headed by my humble self to work out modalities on how to have a successful celebration. The World Press Freedom Day, apart from being a constitutional right, if you in Section 39 of the Nigerian Constitution, it guarantees the rights of freedom of expression, and now everybody or any person shall be entitled to freedom of expression, including the freedom to hold personal opinions and receive and impact ideas and information without hindrances.
Okay.
This cut across even both government and non-government and the same and any other members of the society. So in Rivers State, we are going to on tomorrow have what we call in the morning by 8 a.m. what we call the Freedom Walk, and that is journalists or members of the pen fraternity, they are going to converge at the NUJ Press Center, Moscow Road. Okay. And then we move to maybe the State Police Command in procession, and then we move down through the OGRA axis of Port Harcourt, and then maybe come back to our press center for the event proper, which is around 10 a.m. So part of what we are doing is to sensitize the public on this event, and that is why we've been going around the media houses. They've been very cooperative. In fact, yesterday we are at Wazobia, and with my friend Olaleko, we were able to preach the gospel of free press and freedom of press, and that is what I am here for. I believe that there are other things, if you want to know, which we have in stock.
Yes, indeed. I definitely want to know. This distance that will be covered in the walk tomorrow, is it, how do I ask this question? Is it a distance that we can walk and not faint? Is it that far? Or, sometimes considering the fitness of people, if using me as an example, my build and how healthy I might look to you, if I take on that walk, will I be okay at the end of it?
Well, the good thing about the work is that while we are working, we are dancing, we are singing, and we're chatting. So you wouldn't even, you wouldn't even remember whether you are doing any extraneous exercise or the other.
Okay.
But exercise, of course, is good for the body. It develops you mentally and physically.
I agree.
So we are not going to put you. We are not going to be running. It's not a 100-meter dash. So we just a walk. But I assure you that it's not going to be a long distance walk.
Okay.
And so everybody is invited.
All right. And the last question before we get into press freedom proper. This question was inspired by a debate that came up on one of the popular TV stations a couple of days ago, if I'm not mistaken. And as basic as it might seem, it was about the identity of a journalist. Who is a journalist? The guest on that show claimed that a journalist is someone who studied journalism through formal education. The host, on the other hand, said a journalist has to do with practice because he did not study that in school, but through years of practice, he believes he has earned the right to be referred to as a journalist. So let me ask you, who is a journalist? Do you have to study journalism? Do you become a journalist by practice? For you to be called journalist, what must you do, or become to earn that title?
Well, truly, a lot of infiltration from gate crashers and people who are not professional journalists have actually made the profession look like an all-comers affair.
Okay.
Truly, there are people who are talented or gifted, but unlike like the law profession or the medical profession where you must go through the university walls and maybe spend about 5 to 6 years. And journalism, or you qualify to be a journalist, you may even read theater art, but if you're skillful and you have the passion for journalism, the only thing we demand is that you should have a diploma, minimum diploma in a certificate in either mass communication, basically.
Okay.
Like I did, I studied English in my first degree.
All right.
And BA Honors, and after that I went for a postgraduate diploma in mass communication. So it is essential that you have the rudiment knowledge of journalism. It's not just about you can write or you have the skill to write. But every profession have their own secrets and standards. So, and those are the people that are giving us a bad name. Those who don't have the requisite knowledge and skills in the profession, and they call themselves journalists, and most time they embarrass us because at the end they will say all of them they are journalists. Meanwhile, the truth is that we are a body of professionals. You must be registered. You must be working in a media house.
Okay.
It's what part of the conditions. And you must have also obtained a minimum degree or a diploma in journalism in any recognized institutions. That qualifies you to be a journalist. But if you have the flair, because I've seen mass communication, I've seen people who read law, but they are working in media houses. Maybe they are even reading news. Yeah. But as far as you are working in the media house, you will be able to. There are in-house training. Most media houses now. In fact, training and retraining is part of what we do in the media industry. So, and I believe it's also applicable to other professions. So, those are the things. That's why I cannot say there's but there's still, from what I've said, you could see you'll be able to identify the real and the core journalists from all these freelancers.
Okay. So, how would you describe the state of press freedom in Nigeria at this time?
Well, press freedom is not been that easy. You are aware of the FOI, the Freedom of Information Bill. Despite that, why was the FOI? The reason is to get information, particularly from authorities. Constituted authorities are expected to provide information when the need arises, because journalists, we need to work on facts, and that's the difference between the professionals and non-professionals. And the advent of social media these days, they stay at the comfort of their room and they will just formulate something without even verifying. And that brings me to the issue of investigative journalism. So from what you're saying, it's not been easy be getting information sometime, especially from people who feel that your knowledge of what they are doing or what they have accumulated for themselves through public, trust may expose them, through maybe some of them may not be their hands may not be very clean. So sometimes when they see journalists or when they hear about journalists around, they begin to fidget. And they say the pen is mightier than the sword. Indeed. So even among security officials, they always that mutual distrust, mutual, I don't know. So that is part of the challenge.
And at this time, because artificial intelligence is mainstream now, do you see it as a threat or a tool in journalism?
Thank you for that question. Truly speaking, looking at the positive side of AI, that's what they call it, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is just a novelty in the media industry, and not just media industry. It's part of the evolution. We are in the jet age. They call it the computer age. Every day, new things are coming. This robot, I heard that there's this robotic thing now that can even do some things that human beings, need to do. So the artificial intelligence actually enhances proficiency, productivity, and efficiency in the discharge of our duties, not only in the media. Automation of tasks, of course, is part of the advantages, and improved content management and distribution of information create new grants of possibilities. So those are some of the positive ends of artificial intelligence. However, we know that the advent of artificial intelligence will also take away, jobs, offer from some people, job displacement due to automation. Yeah. Because what 10 people can do, in an office with this automation and such artificial intelligence, you can use one person to do the job of 10 persons.
Indeed.
So that's the aspect where it could be. And apart from that, sometimes it gives you a stereotype information, not minding the peculiarity or the culture and environment. So it's like you just Google this is what you want, and it just gives you straight. Sometimes it may be information that it's somebody in America or in France or in any part of the world. They will just be telling you from their own experience.
Okay.
So that is part of some of the limitations.
All right. We take this break. After that, we talk further about World Press Freedom Day. Stay with us.
Nigeria Info. Right back after this.
Are you dreaming of starting
Chairman NUJ Rivers State Committee on Press Freedom. You're welcome once again, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. So we talked about press freedom in Nigeria. We've talked about artificial intelligence. And of course, we know that tomorrow is World Press Freedom Day. So tell us some more about the activities lined up for tomorrow.
Yes, Orakwe. Tomorrow, like I said earlier, we're going to have a road walk that we call Freedom Walk in the morning by 8.
All right.
Then thereafter by 10 a.m., we're going to gather at the Sikoli Press Center, Moscow Road, where we're going to have a symposium. By the grace of God, we've been able to engage a communication expert and a former commissioner for information and communication in Rivers State, Pastor Paulino Sunserem. He's a veteran.
Okay.
And he's going to be talking. In fact, he's going to deliver the keynote address on the theme for this year. We also have other personalities who are going to be gracing the occasions, quite a lot of them. Beside that, we have invited members of the security arms, like the Nigerian police, who happen, they are our friends. In fact, the police command headquarters is just by our secretariat, so we are neighbors. And the reason, you know quite why we have to do that, because the police, we have partners in fighting crime. That's what we. Apart from police, we also invited the Nigerian Army, who went to Bori Camp to visit and deliver the letter. And we expect that the Nigerian Army should, be available to also listen to what we do, and we share our experiences. We also extended invitation to the Nigerian Air Force and the Civil Defense, Corps. These are some of the people. Why do we do this? Because we felt that the experiences, journalists have, it has always been in confrontation with these security agencies. And I think we need to sit down at the round table through such kind of forum and ask questions and be able to understand ourselves, and that we are rather going to work together, and achieve the goals of a better society, because the media or the press, we are instruments of societal change. We are watchdog of the society. Our function is to, expose what is evil, or what is wrong, and also, escalate in praise to those things that are being done well by those who are saddled with the responsibility to discharge these functions. So once you find yourself in public office, just know that the journalist must be there to work with you one way or the other, because we are interested. The public will need to know, and it is their right to know. Apart from the traditional functions of educating, informing, entertaining, we also have to expose what will help the society or what the public want to know. That is part of what, So it's going to be an impactful event, and some of the things we've been able to do this year, which is a step forward. This morning around 10 or so, we had a webinar, and a very renowned international journalist based in UK was also on air, online, and then it was very interactive, and a lot of people. The national president of the Nigerian Union of Journalists also was, joining in that webinar, and quite a lot of people were, who participated or who queue into it. They have something to, to thank God for, because it was an enlightening forum. So those are some of the things we are doing and we are going to do.
Okay, that is quite the line of activities for tomorrow. In situations where some of the challenges journalists face is caused by some organs of the authorities, let me put it like that. For example, in situations where, journalists have problems with maybe the police or even the military, how will tomorrow's event help to address those issues and, of course, tell the authorities about the role they play in suppressing press freedom?
Let me start by saying the police in Rivers State, under this present commissioner, has shown a lot of capacity and understanding.
Okay.
And you remember there was a protest a few weeks ago or so.
That's exactly why I asked that question.
And after that, some of our men, or some journalists, were actually not well treated by the security operatives.
Okay.
And we came back when we got the information. The NUJ leadership in the state decided to, come out with a press statement and threatened to even boycott the coverage of the activities of the police. And not long, it's like even when that incident happened, it's like the commissioner of police was not around. It's like he was away.
Okay.
So as soon as he came back and he got wind of what was going on, he came personally to the NUJ secretariat and have that interface with the leadership of the Nigerian Union of Journalists and that ESCO, and that actually doused the tension. I think these are the kind of things we're talking about, But we believe that even as they right as I'm talking to you now, he has even detailed his men to also accompanying us for the road walk, which is the freedom walk tomorrow.
Okay.
So those are the synergy we share or we enjoy when we meet or when we interface, and with that there will be better understanding. So and you see, Rivers State, I must say this, Rivers State actually is enjoying relative peace. And sometimes people from outside, the way they think about the state is very, very not what is on ground. When I hear what is happening in Plateau State, Benue State, and I just wonder. So, and I think we journalists, we must also, especially those of us who are in the media houses, should help to market our state also, and not to keep telling us, making it look as if when people come, they say, is it the state they are talking about? There's nothing going on that is wrong, and I know the way they are being painted in the media. So I think the media too, we have a responsibility to play. And part of the reason why we need to always have a regular interaction, and I think the World Press Freedom Day tomorrow provide that opportunity. There are a lot of reasons why we celebrate, the World Press Freedom Day, it's opportunity to not just celebrate the fundamentals of principles of press freedom. It's also a time for stock taking. We reflect on how we have fared and how far we have gone, and then where we are going. And then we also pay tribute to journalists who have lost their lives in cost of their line of duty. I think that is very critical, because I was looking at statistics recently, and I discovered that the issue of press brutality is a global thing.
Yeah.
In fact, I observed that a total of 69 journalists have been killed or were killed during the Second World War, 63 in the Vietnam War, both of which lasted several years. As of March last year, the Gaza invasion has left over 86 journalists dead in less than 4 months. This is an alarming high percentage, in terms of brutalization and the casualty levels of journalists. And not to talk about when you come home, you are aware in 1986, you're aware of what happened to Dele Giwa, a journalist, a founder of the Newswatch magazine. It's one of the favorite magazines we have ever had, and very enriched. And he died out of a parcel bomb. There are other journalists that have also died unsung. People like Tunde Oladipo, a senior correspondent with The Guardian. He was killed in 1998. In 1999, James Ogogo, a reporter with Concord Times, was also killed in Sierra Leone while covering the Nigerian-led peacekeeping force. So there are a lot of people who have been, maltreated or even killed in course of doing their work who are journalists. And you remember the NSAS.
Yeah.
It has its own storyline. A lot of journalists were casualties. In fact, some media houses were even attacked.
Yeah.
And they lost a lot. So I think these are some of the reasons why we always mark the World Press Freedom Day, to at least to reflect on those who have gone, and also to honor. It's a way to honor them.
Okay, sir.
Because
well, we are down to final minutes. It's been wonderful doing this with you. I have 2 messages which I can take. Those who occupy our elected governor's position as... Okay, Big King, that's not for this conversation. And Collins on Facebook says, as artificial intelligence continues to impact the media landscape, its complex relationship with journalism and press freedom has become a defining concern. There is urgent need to shape AI in a way that upholds human rights and prioritizes accurate, verifiable, and fact-based information. That's from Collins Agomago. Thank you very much, Collins. Expect for tomorrow. How can people be a part of it? What time should people come out? Where should they come to be a part of the Press Freedom Day?
Okay, like I've said earlier, that the center of attraction will be at the Press Center. NS Ikoli Press Center is located at Moscow Road, just almost adjacent the Rivers State House of Assembly, and undergoing rehabilitation. And just also a stone throw from the State Police Command.
Yeah.
So that is the place where the center of activities. And then I also want to say that on Monday, the Department of Communications Studies in the Rivers State University, the mass also, will be also having a program. That department will be having a program. In fact, we are partnering with them.
Okay.
And they extended the invitation to the Nigerian Union of Journalists, and the leadership has already had already engaged them in the program to afford such opportunity to also touch the youths and those who are coming up in the profession, because some of these ones, by the time they meet or interact with veterans and those who are already practicing, they will be able to understand and they know what to do better when they come out.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Paul Damgbor, for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're hoping
for me, and thank you, audience.
Yes, indeed.
For the time.
Open for a massive turnout tomorrow.
Sure. And I hope you in Nigeria Info will be there.
Yes, if we are not there, I don't think it will start. we obviously will be represented.
I must commend your station. You're doing well.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Okay.
All right. 5:45 is upon us. A program plays now. At the top of the hour, which is 6, we'll have the major news. And after that, it's open season. Stay with us.